Hey everyone, Zian over here from Nintendo Life. Now I'm just going to get it right out of the way, right off the bat, and introduce the boys. I'm not here alone. Say hello, John.
I'm one of the boys.
You're also the verified one, as Greg Miller used to call, I think, Tim Geddes. He's not the only verified one we have now, though. Say hello, Alex.
I was going to say, I've been verified for years, mate, and I keep forgetting to congratulate you, John, on getting your verification. Congratulations on getting your verification, John.
Oh, you're making me blush.
I suppose, yeah, John's the newly verified one. Alex has been verified before... Probably before I even really regularly use Twitter.
I've been verified. I was verified when it was easy to get verified.
We're still unsure if Xeon even exists. I mean, who knows?
Am I really who I say I am? Do I just know? Am I a VTuber? Is that what they call them these days? I don't actually know.
I'm pretty sure you are.
So what are we doing, Xeon?
Well, actually, it's pretty, now that I think about it, it's pretty on topic. Today, I want to talk about rumors, specifically because nowadays, rumors can be pretty destructive, especially around the time of E3. For example, we're hearing a lot about Switch Pro rumors, right? We keep hearing, Switch Pro is going to get announced at E3, or it's going to get announced the week before, or it's chaotic. And especially for us, for journalists specifically, it's a mess because with the power of the internet, people have the ability to go on and say whatever they want, and if someone has more credibility, people tend to believe them, or not trust, but they want to put hope in the fact that maybe this is true. You know, there was a time where these rumors weren't so chaotic. I suppose for certain people they could still be, but specifically I'm talking about on the playground back when some of us were kids. You know, we would hear rumors about Mew being underneath a truck, and the only way to find that out was to, you know, you had to do this interesting thing in Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow where you fought a trainer on the SS Anne, I think it was called, and you got defeated and you got sent back to the Pokemon Center, and then you had to progress to the point to get Surf and Strength, and then you had to teach a trainer how, or teach a not teach a trainer, but teach a Pokemon how to use Strength, and then push
That's
the truck.
That's a plot twist.
Right. Oh yeah. But I mean, that's the stuff that, you know, nowadays the internet will completely rip that apart because anybody can go in and they can find out if this or that isn't true. And so, you know, we don't have as many of those fun rumors floating around anymore. So I kind of just wanted to talk with you guys about some of the things that we might have heard on the playground as kids, or, you know, maybe some of you who were playing Pokemon in your 20s and 30s and 40s, maybe some of you that you heard around the break room, you know. I wanted to talk to you about those kind of things. And I went ahead and posted on the community tab. This was a day or two ago, and I posted on Twitter as well, just kind of asking what some of you, the listeners, heard about as well back in the day. And so we'll talk about some of those later on too. But that's kind of what I wanted to chat about today. Long story short, very long story.
I've got one, although it wasn't on the playground that I heard it. It was from a cheat guide. Like,
okay.
you know, one of those old books you used to get and used to have reams of cheats in there.
Yeah,
and
I loved those.
There was a cheat in there. They were great, weren't they? I mean, they were terrible, but they were great. And one of the cheats in there was for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And by doing various things, you had to go somewhere, I think, just outside Hyrule Castle. You had to climb up some vines and do something like get a bottle out and, you know, the usual sort of ridiculous laundry list of things that you need to do. And if you did them all right, Link would get a helicopter.
What?
What a twist.
The thing is that if I'd heard that in the playground, I might have been skeptical, you know, more skeptical than I was. This was printed. Everything in a book is true. That's a fact. I know that because I saw it written in a book. And so I believe this. And I tried so hard to make this work. And you know what? It doesn't actually work.
No.
I don't know. We can still try this and figure out it really is in there.
Well, I can't remember the instructions.
Was this printed in like an April issue or something, or was this just no?
No, it was like a proper bona fide, you know, 700 cheats for the N64, and you know, you look inside, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they threw in some fake ones, either because they didn't know any better, or more likely they needed to get up to a certain number in order to slap it on the front, and so they just had to make some things
So
up.
the guy at the top went, put him in a helicopter.
Maybe somebody accidentally misread the term R-wing for helicopter or something, and they were
Maybe.
just like,
It's possible,
kids
yeah.
aren't going to know what an R-wing is. Let's just call it a helicopter. And they maybe that's what they were trying to reference. But even so, I'm pretty sure there's not just some magical set of steps you can take to even discover the R-wing in the game. I think you still have to. I almost used the term jailbreak. But you
Hello,
have to,
2006.
You have to hack the mainframe.
There is a way to get the R-Wing in-game, but you have to like really glitch it.
Yeah.
I think it's just done
Yeah.
through like getting the debug menu somehow. But yeah, back then, I don't even think the R-Wing was that well known. It wasn't until like the days of YouTube that the R-Wing really surfaced.
It may well have been that there was somebody, sort of somebody saw a, sort of like an early build of the game, or they saw something and the R-Wing was present, and then that got filtered through over and over again in order to result in this. It's entirely possible, a flying vehicle exists in the game. It's, it's not that big of a stretch, but it's ridiculous and it doesn't work. And I'm still annoyed.
I'm picturing this magazine right now too, like just back with the way the magazines were back in the day for video games, just like a big like star right on the front of the magazine that just says like unlock the helicopter in Zelda 64 or something like that,
Oh man.
And it's sealed, the magazine's sealed, so you're like, Mom, can I get this? Look it, please.
I seem to remember, I'm just double checking it now. I'm fairly certain it was just N64 magazine was the name of the publication. And it was like a separate, like book that you got. It may have been a freebie that came with the magazine, I'm not sure. Or it might have been something that I actually spent money on. Either way, there is no helicopter in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
That's good
But maybe
stuff.
there will be in Breath of the Wild too.
Maybe. I mean, people have sent Guardians flying pretty damned high, it has to be said.
Speaking of magazines, back when I was a kid, I had one of those cheat magazines too. I used to pick them up every so often. I think one of my favorites was Tips and Tricks. And obviously you guys had different publications than we did. But I remember reading in the Super Smash Bros. Section for N64 that you could unlock, you could unlock Ness, Captain Falcon, Jigglypuff. And I think the only characters I unlocked at the time were Jigglypuff and Captain Falcon. And so the other two, Ness and Luigi, I never had. I never was able to unlock them or even fight them. And my child brain, who was obsessed with Pokemon Silver at the time, misread it as Lugia instead of Luigi. and I had the ability to register the fact that I believe Smash came out before Silver and Gold did. I could be wrong. And the whole time I just misread it. I don't know why I didn't go back and read it another time or what, but so I thought Lugia was in Smash for a really long time.
I'd love Lugia in Smash. One of the
That'd
more
be
rampant
fantastic.
melee rumors was Sonic. I mean, that's one of the things on the playground a lot for me. And I remember a lot of magazines did really poor photoshops of just the Adventure 2 model, and it's not even facing sideways. Like, all the other characters are facing horizontally, but Sonic's just jumping towards the camera. And I still believed it, though. I still believed you can unlock Sonic and Tails in that game.
I must admit, when I was younger, I heard about unlocking Ness in Smash Bros. And I think I'd unlocked all of them except one, and I just assumed there was a gap missing because Ness wasn't like obtuse to unlock, but it was definitely not straightforward, certainly not for a child. And so I remember thinking, sort of you hear about this character called Ness, and I thought to myself, nah, that's not true. It was the total opposite. It was a truth in the playground. I don't know if it was the playground per se, but, I remember reading this and thinking, no. Or, I might have even seen an image and gone, that's just a boy. That's not a character. And it turned out to be entirely true. This character from a game that was never released in this country, it just smacks of complete bollocks. But it turned out to be absolutely true. Weird.
I forget that Earthbound didn't release in your region until Wii U or
To the Wii U?
Yeah, I feel like John did. But did either of you guys really frequent game FAQs much back in the day?
Oh God, yes. Oh my
I had
word.
multiple accounts.
Okay. Multiple accounts. Boy.
Sometimes you got to argue with yourself just to make sure your point comes across better.
Oh no, John, that's great. Oh wow, wow. I shouldn't be surprised, but
The classic John move.
so I'm assuming that this rumor for me came from there because I looked it up and I can't find any history, nothing on the internet of it. But when Link's crossbow training came out, I picked that up and I played it and it was fine. You know, I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say about the game anymore. But there was a rumor that I must have read on Game FAQs, or I think if you got a platinum medal on every single level in Link's crossbow training, that you would unlock an additional boss fight against like Ganon or something like that, maybe, or you know.
I think I've heard this.
Have you? Do you really? Are you
I
serious?
think so. Yeah, seriously, I'm pretty sure. I remember there being this rumor. I think it was fighting against Dark Beast Ganon or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you just fight. I looked up the bosses. There's a giant like Skulltula, the one that is like in the.
You fight the spinner boss.
Yeah, yep. And there's another boss in the game too, but I don't remember who it is. But yeah, like Ganon is not a thing, and you would have expected like it's a Zelda game. The final boss can't be this giant skeleton that's like. Right? It wouldn't be that. It just wouldn't be. So I remember a buddy and I, we ended up playing through, like we spent an entire night and we did every single one. And then it's not true. There's nothing. There was nothing at the end of that. And if it only took us a night and we were 15, 16, 14, somewhere around that age, it couldn't have been that difficult. But I remember just feeling absolutely defeated after we spent all that time finding nothing.
It'd be quite a training session for Link. You know, he's training with his crossbow. To just go ahead and shoot Ganon with it, that's quite a leap for a training session.
That's a good point. I guess it is his crossbow training. You're right. But
He's fighting a skeleton, though.
yeah, I mean, Link does. You can toss your fishing rod at him at the end of the game, right? And doesn't that throw him off?
Yeah, it distracts him.
That's the thing with a lot of these rumors too, is that video games do weird stuff like this all the time. And it makes some of these rumors sound like it could be real, like the UFO endings in Silent Hill. I don't remember. It's always a different way. But yeah, I mean, there's weird stuff like that all the time that adds to the credibility factor of some of this weird stuff.
I have another Zelda one. So I was playing through Wind Waker for the first time, and my friend had already played through it, and he was watching me play for a while, and we got to Hyrule Castle, and I wanted so badly just to escape the boundaries and explore Hyrule. And he said to me, I've done it.
No.
So I believed him. So I spent all day just trying to somehow jump out of the walls and try and make my way out. And what made this even more enticing is he told me that he got out of the boundaries of Hyrule Castle. He explored Hyrule, and outside the boundaries was Epona. And with Epona, it replaces the King of Red Lions. And you can then go galloping on the sea floor. And I believe this for so long. So he went home for the night, and I just kept playing Wind Waker over and over again to try and get out of it, because I believed Epona was out there somewhere.
Can I just ask, John, and this isn't... how old were you at the time?
I must have been 10.
Okay, that's an acceptable age in order to do that sort of thing. I can't say I was any brighter when I was 10.
That's a tasty rumor, though. Like, without the ability of just being able to go online and prove if it's right or wrong, as well, I would have spent hours trying to do that too. It's such a momentous thing to like walk into Hyrule and see, this vast open area. And of course you want to explore it, to just have your friend just say, yeah, I've done that. Sure. Like that must have just like lit a spark in your brain and said, I can do that too. I want to get out there.
You mentioned that I was only 10, Alex. I'm a bit more ashamed of another one where I wasn't 10. I wasn't that much older, I guess. I must have been 13 or 14. And I was playing Halo 3. I mean, this is non-Nintendo, I apologize for that. But we were playing Halo 3 with a close friend and I. And there was another person in the server, and they claimed that they worked for Bungie. And so we're in a custom game server all together. And he told us that he could get us recon armor. and apparently there was a special way to do it. So for those who don't know, recon armor was something only Bungie employees wore, and I think with ODST they gave it to everyone. But at that point, it was a very special thing.
Sometimes it was just as, sort of people high up in the community or, sort of renowned or something like that. So It wasn't just Bungie employees?
Yeah, that's why we believed it, because Bungie employees can give it to other people as well. So what he told us was what you had to do was in Forge mode, you had to get some cones, and with the cones, you had to spell out the word recon. And then everyone in the server has to stand in the O of recon. And you've got to stand in there for an hour.
Don't even.
For an hour!
So we stood there for an hour. And he had long left the server.
It's like hazing!
And we just sort of talked to each other for a while in there. And an hour passed. And he left the server to check if he had recon. He didn't. I was staying in there. He came back after a while. And we're like, maybe it wasn't an hour. Maybe we've got to wait a bit longer. So I think we waited for 2 hours in total before we realised that we'd been had.
That's bad.
This
That is bad.
That hurts.
I do remember, I can't remember the specifics, unfortunately, but I don't know whether you guys, are you familiar with Perfect Dark at all? I mean, obviously I know you know the game, my God, but how familiar are you?
I'm not.
Pretty familiar.
I did not play it growing up, so, but go ahead.
Well, basically, in, I believe, every level, there is a piece of cheese hidden somewhere. There's a piece of cheese hidden in, I believe, every single level.
I think I saw Fangamer released a pin recently, and it's a toilet bowl with a piece of cheese in it, and that makes so much sense now, because I was like, what is the point of this? So I'm sorry, go ahead.
It serves literally no purpose. It's just meant to be a fun Easter egg that the devs threw in there. It's rare. It's just, a piece of cheese. That's all it is. I swear I either read or heard something that if you, found, in inverted commas, every single piece of cheese, something mad would happen. Like, you'd unlock a new, super space level or something. It's so many of these rumors were about space levels, as if it was this completely unobtainable, thing. And... It wasn't true. Unfortunately, I can't remember any more of the details about it, but I don't know. It sprang to my mind. Cheese in Perfect Dark. Useless cheese.
I need that in the new game now, because a new Perfect Dark's on the way. They're making it. They have to do something with the cheese.
It may well be nowadays. I don't know. In the Xbox Live Arcade version, if you find all the cheese, you get an achievement. An
achievement.
That's achievement. Yeah.
This is not a Nintendo game, but Final Fantasy VII back in the day. I don't even remember what. I think it was Advent Children that spurred me to go pick that up, or maybe Kingdom Hearts. And spoiler alert, Ares or Aerith, whatever you want to call her, she dies a big death. And that was a really important one back in the day too, is a lot of people...
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, a lot of people thought there were ways to bring her back. And I went and looked online because I couldn't remember all of the tips and tricks of how to potentially do it. But one of the rumors that I read was that if you got all your characters to level 99 before the fight or before the moment she dies, that she would survive. And that, I can't even imagine how much time and effort that would take from someone. That's torture right there.
There were a lot of rumors about this. I remember Game Trailers did a Pop Fiction on this, and it was really detailed, and it doesn't work. But it turns out if you do hack Aerith into the end game, she does have dialogue boxes.
Really?
I don't think there's actual text in there.
Oh, really?
But it looks like they programmed a way for her to speak, which is weird. So maybe she was intended to come back in some way.
Maybe they decided games are never really made in a linear sense. It's the same with films and TV programs. So it may well be that originally they weren't planning to have her die, and then they thought, hang on, let's do something. Why don't we kill off this character? That'll be a big thing. But they already had some groundwork for her in later parts of the game that they'd actually made earlier.
Near the end of development, they went, I've had enough of this girl. Kill her off.
And that's the thing sort of with some of these rumors is I think back on some of these, like the Final Fantasy one. I don't remember trying anything crazy to try to bring her back, but I just remember hearing about it. And part of me wishes that I could have been around to hear about some of the, the mutterings like in person or even just have those discussions with people, where nowadays a lot of these rumors are just there's so much like hype riding behind them, and they don't seem to be as fun. I mean, we still do get some like, it's fun to speculate and talk about the potential of a new game coming out or this or that. But when there's things like the Switch Pro rumors that aren't even started by Nintendo, it just it's I think we're gonna look back on rumors like that and not have fond memories of them. But I think me looking back at the Link's crossbow training thing, like that only took a night for me, and it was silly, and now it's a story and that I'm going to remember forever from that time with one of my best friends growing up, and it's, I don't know, maybe kids nowadays will still have fun reflecting on who's going to get into Fortnite and stuff like that. I don't know.
There's so many memories of that stuff now. But like nowadays, it's just you can data mine a game and find out if something's true or not. And it takes away all that mystery. And I know kids aren't going to be on the playground being like, oh yeah, I saw a data mine. They're still going to make rumors about that stuff.
Well, I mean, there are still instances even today of, in Minecraft, Herobrine is like a huge thing. I think it's more just a joke now. But for the longest time, people believed that there was a character in Minecraft called Herobrine, and it was all just down to some sort of misunderstanding, but it gained this weird sort of like, sort of subculture appreciation for this character that doesn't exist, and it was years before the rumors actually started dying down. And I remember it clearly, and even the developers got in on it, and like every so often in patch notes they'd say removed Herobrine and things like that. But of course it doesn't exist. It's bollocks.
That's so pleasant to hear, because that's a really fun
that's cool.
That's a really fun rumor. Yeah.
Of course there were like creepypastas made about it and things like that.
Of course.
There is one more that has just popped into my head, and I've double checked it, and it is absolutely, I'm thinking of the right level and everything. But in the original Sonic the Hedgehog for the Master System, not the Mega Drive, the Master System, or Genesis, Xeon, there are 3 acts for every level, I suppose. And, the first one's normal, second one's, kind of normal again, or sometimes there's a gimmick or something, and then the third one is the boss. And side note, you never get any rings on those boss levels, so it's one-hit death, which makes them ridiculously hard. Well, they're not ridiculously hard, but they're a lot harder than they need to be. Anyway, on the first level, so Green Hill Zone Act 3, there's a like a secret life. If you drop down the second pit, there's a spring underneath, but there's also like a platform. There's no death or anything. And there's a secret life down there. So, a one-up, brilliant, really handy. But there is also then a big, long, like, row of spikes. And you sort of think to yourself, can I jump over that? I mean, you can't. You're just within the game's limitations. It's physically impossible. But you look at it, and you see this big, long row of spikes. And I don't know where it came from. Probably either I made it up, knowing me, or my friend did. But if you could jump over that big row of spikes, there was a platform at the end, and Tails was on the other side. Oh, no. Despite the fact Tails didn't exist. Yes! Yeah. I mean, the fun fact, Tails' first appearance was in the Master System version of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, not the Mega Drive version. Which
he barely appears, but he is in it, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's in it. He's in the intro cutscene. He's on the title screen, and he's in like all the little level icons.
I love how much time we were able to put into some of these things back in the day. Like, John, you mentioned how much you loved glitches, and I loved just like, there was one, I think, in Fear, in like one of the Fear expansion packs, where you could like break out a wall and you would crawl through this air vent, and you would fall into a room with disco lights, and one of the characters was like dancing in there, and there was music, and it was so dumb, but we would find things like that as a kid. And or just went back in the day, and it led us to want to continue finding more silly stuff like this, or just weird things we weren't supposed to do. But
yeah, breaking the boundaries of what's intended is always so fun. And Xeon, we actually kind of mentioned this a bit on Twitter the other day, but I have another Sonic one. And so this came from the same friend who told me that he broke out of Hyrule and got Epona. So
Trustworthy.
yeah, it's a good source. In Sonic Adventure, in the Mystic Ruins, you have that thing that leads to the what would you call it? Eggman's hidden base thing.
Final egg.
And in the yeah, where the final egg.
Oh,
is,
the egg carrier. The egg carrier.
They're two separate entities. Like the egg carrier is on another side.
The egg carrier's floating in the water, right? There's like, isn't that how you get to it? And then he's got his like base is like, it looks like Las Vegas out there or something crazy.
Yeah, so you've got the big woodland area of the Mystic Ruins. You go to the end and you have that big base. And in there are 2 glass containers, and one of them has Metal Sonic in. And the other one it might be Sonic 2, like the Silver Sonic from there, or it could be a prototype of Metal Sonic. I'm not quite sure.
It does look like
it might be
though.
Mecha Sonic, technically.
But, he says, my friend told me he broke the glass and he freed them. So apparently when you free them, you can then play as them. And I had the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure. He had DX. So technically, he's not entirely lying, because in Director's Cut, you can play as Metal Sonic when you get all the emblems. And in Sonic's event stages, you can play as Metal Sonic. You couldn't do it in Dreamcast version, though. And breaking the glass, though, was never a part of that. So we spent a long time just spin dashing and homing attacking at the glass. And I think he believed it himself. I think he's such a psychopathic liar that he believes all of his tales.
He was with you when you tried it?
He was with me. He
How
was urging
sadistic.
me on. And there was no like smile on his face. He was into this. He was getting off on this.
I just love the idea that you're there, constantly homing attacking this thing. And it's like, well, maybe it didn't work the first 37 times, but maybe it'll work on the 58th.
And I know for a fact he did not have all the emblems. So he didn't even unlock Metal Sonic in the traditional sense.
Cheats.
So wherever this guy is now, he's probably in prison. I don't know. I don't know what to think of him.
I mean, that was kind of how it worked back in the day, right? Was you would, like you said, rumors get filtered through one person into another. So maybe your friend knew somebody who actually had Metal Sonic in the game, and they wouldn't like, how do you get him? I'm not telling. And then your friend just came up with a theory,
entirely possible,
and then told you.
Maybe.
And but also, this is the same friend you said that told you the thing about Wind Waker, that he made it beyond the barrier.
Yeah.
Forget this guy.
And if he did have Metal Sonic through traditional means, and he told me, like, if he said to me, you need all the emblems, I would have done that, and I wouldn't have got him. So I would have still thought he was a liar.
Gosh.
Very unrelated, but seeing as we're talking about Sonic Adventure, I have something I need to get off my chest. You know when you unlock Super Sonic as, like, the final mission thing? Mm-hmm. And
it goes, when you select it on the menu.
Thank you.
Why do they make that noise? It's just like, sort of Sonic goes, let's do this, and here I come, Sonic, says Tails and stuff like that. All perfectly good sound bites, and then it's Super Sonic with a big question mark, and you hear,
Does it?
Why?
I can't remember. Does it actually say Supersonic on the screen, or is it just a question mark?
I think it says Supersonic, but the icon is a question mark, as if no one's ever seen Supersonic before.
Yeah.
And then it
Who
goes,
could this character be?
Because I was going to say, if they were trying to be mysterious about it and not say that it was Supersonic, that soundbite makes some sense, I guess. But if they're still spelling it...
They didn't need to do any soundbite. It could have just been...
That's true.
Nothing. Or even just, the sound of like a ring being selected or something. Anything. But...
I love that you both felt the need to bring that up. Because as you said, when you brought up the Supersonic thing, that was the first thought that entered my brain. Was
oh god,
we're so in sync. This is dumb.
Yeah, if they remake the game and remove the then it's not worth it. It's a bad remake.
We
if they do
riot.
that. Yeah, we riot.
Does anyone have any memories of Peekaboo?
Oh yeah.
I remember him being like advertised and talked about in some magazines, but I don't really remember much about it. Do you guys?
Oh, I have very vivid memories of Peekaboo. Well, not that vivid, but I remember it, and for me, that's vivid enough.
I'm curious. How deep does this go?
Yes, I think I saw Peekaboo in a official Nintendo magazine, I'm pretty sure. It wasn't O&M, it was what preceded that. And I could have sworn there was like a section towards the end where you can write in and ask them questions. And one of them was like, is Peekaboo real? And I'm pretty sure the official Nintendo magazine person said, yeah. I'm pretty sure they confirmed it in there.
Well, I mean, Peekaboo is Peekaboo is Marill. And that's, it's this sort of, this small truth being passed down. And it may well be that somebody at some point caught a preview or saw Marill in some form. And unsurprisingly, Marill does look surprisingly like Pikachu. And if they didn't see the name or just didn't remember it or something, Peekaboo, it's a pretty catchy name, I'm not going to lie. And I remember so many people coming up with their own theories as to how to get Peekaboo. Because the idea of gold and silver wasn't, sort of, I imagine some people, sort of older people knew, but in the playground, a new Pokemon game, it's like, nah, what's it called? Gold and silver? Nah, don't be stupid. You just made that up. Again, it sounds made up. Gold and silver? Wow, those are two fancy metals. And so, it must be in red and blue. I'm sure you can get Peekaboo. And it's like, if you try and evolve Pikachu with a water stone or something like that. And so many different things. Or you had to do it you had to evolve Pikachu whilst surfing. That was a way to get surfing Pikachu as well, by the way.
So speaking of Pokemon then, I actually wanted to throw out a couple of those community ones that I went ahead and found a couple that I thought were really funny or just that I remembered from back in the day. And so speaking of Pikachu, someone, I'm not going to pronounce these usernames because I'm going to completely butcher them. But someone said, I'll just read these straight out. A cousin lied to me that you could evolve Pikachu in the original Smash Bros. And that makes total sense. I don't know how you would do that.
I'd have believed that back in the day, honestly.
Yeah.
What do we mean by evolve though? Like, do you unlock Raichu as a fighter, or do you evolve Pikachu mid-match?
Yeah, I guess
I would have assumed mid-match from, the fact that you can evolve Pikachu kind of suggests that it's the one character changing. You should have just pressed down and B. That probably would have worked.
Yeah, I mean, Zelda and Sheik can transform, so it wouldn't be impossible.
Zelda can evolve into Sheik.
Yeah.
And this was the original Smash, they say as well. So at that time, we didn't even have a character that transformed. So who knows how that would have worked? But I love the thought because I know you guys already said it too, but that totally would have sent my brain. I would have went rampant trying to figure out how to make that possible. Let's see. Oh, so this one's pretty elaborate. There's a lot in here about Mario Galaxy, but this person said, I have one that a buddy of mine told me back in elementary school. I had borrowed Super Mario Galaxy from him and noticed a strange planet near the Comet Observatory. If you've played the game, you know the one I'm talking about, the one with the colored tips. I asked him what the planet was, and his response was that after completing the game, you'd be sent to that planet to fight everyone in the game, including the Toads and Luigi. If you win, you get to marry Rosalina.
What?
If you lose, your save file is erased.
Oh my god.
Oh god, there were so many rumors like that where it's like an ultra challenge, like the hardest challenge in the game. If you win, you get the world and all the riches you've ever wanted. If you lose, your save file is erased and a man will come round and tell you off. Or these ridiculous things.
Yeah.
And a lot of them about erasing save files. I mean, I it's not that outlandish a concept, but it wasn't helped by the fact that I don't know whether you guys know, but in Banjo-Kazooie, if you, like the original, if you tell Bottles, because you have the option at the start of the game to not go through the tutorials and you just get all your moves, if you do that and then you speak to Bottles like 6 or 7 times in a row or something, he will threaten to delete your save data. If you talk to him again, he'll be like, all right, that's it. I'm going to delete your save data in 3, 2, 1. And Banjo's like, oh no, I'm sorry. And it doesn't happen, but it genuinely obviously I pushed it when I was a child. I was genuinely afraid I was going to lose my save data.
This sounds like a playground rumor right now.
I 100% go and play the game now. It is real.
All right, I'm playing right now.
And if you complete the game without getting all the power-ups, you can turn into Super Banjo, and you can fly all the time. You don't even need any red feathers or a flight pad. You just fly around all the time, and that means that you can get to the a secret place in Grunty's lair. And when you go in there, you save Tootie, and you save her before, and then it's better. And then Gruntilda gets into a big mech, and you fight Gruntilda in the big mech. and then you unlocked Super Mario 64.
Alex, did you ever work at Rare?
So what noise does Super Banjo make when you choose him? Does he go like, how do you go, as Banjo?
He looks like normal. He looks like normal Banjo, but his fur's gold and it sticks up. And he's like a teenager Super Saiyan, and he's the powerfulest.
It's bollocks, but I believe it.
What an original character. Do not steal. So another one that I found. So this one went, a kid at school said you could hookshot the masks on the Happy Mask salesman's back in Majora's Mask. And if you got the Mario mask, you could turn into Mario.
This is pretty easily disproven, though.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, but I imagine, like, you know, telling somebody that and being like, well, like if I was told that as a kid, I totally would have ran home and tried it. You know, like,
Oh, yeah.
At least we can disprove it. But I love that they're like, it's totally plausible. This is the people that made Mario. Why wouldn't they program a fun little thing like that into the game? Why is that Mario mask there? It has to have some purpose, right? I have to be able to wear it somehow.
Imagine running around Termina as Mario 64 Mario. That'd be so cool.
Right.
Can you even use the hook shot in the clock tower?
I feel
Because I'm
like you
fairly
could...
certain it disables your items.
Oh,
Yeah,
does
maybe
it?
not.
Okay.
That would sort of, but you can do it if you go, you know, that would add a layer to it to make it harder to disprove.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, this goes deeper.
I've just made a weird connection in my head. The Happy Mask salesman is like this weird semi-ethereal character, right? Nobody knows where he came from. He seems to be able to disappear at will. He reminds me, weirdly, I don't know whether you guys are familiar with the Lord of the Rings, like the books at all, but he kind of reminds me of Tom Bombadil.
Does this person share many similarities? I'm assuming they must.
Well, it's sort of like nobody knows where the Happy Mask salesman came from. Is generally sort of a benevolent figure and has sort of these weird magical powers, can't be harmed. It lines up. I mean, hopefully someone please in the comments, like, back me up. It's kind of, he's a bit Tom Bombadil-y, maybe. I don't know. It's just I made the connection in my head and I was hoping one of you might have read the books. I say that like I've read the books. I haven't. I just know Tom Bombadil.
I'm sorry, Alex. Well, hopefully someone will redeem your thoughts in the comments.
Tom Bombadillo.
So I have two that I want to throw out, but they're both for the same purpose. So one person said, someone I knew once claimed there was a PlayStation and Saturn converter coming out on the Ultra 64. Although he also claimed he had played one in 1995. I just look back on how hard he tried to convince me and laugh. And then the second one is basically connected in the same theory. So this person said, kid told me he was chosen by GameStop to playtest Super Smash Bros. Brawl as a playtester months before it released. I asked him to prove it, and he said he wasn't allowed to bring video games to school. Then I asked him to bring the manual, because back in the day, games had manuals. He said his mother threw it away. And it's just, so the reason these are both connected is because they're just straight up lies. What?
Yeah.
If you play tested this game back in the day, kiddo, you would have your parents would have signed some kind of contract or something like just that's what we're all bound to, our NDAs and embargoes and things. Like, I mean, obviously,
His mum threw those away too.
right. Yeah. I just love how far people will go to just, you know, they'll dig themselves a deeper hole, and it's just so funny to me that just things like these lies just spread and people tell other people and then when they get proven wrong, they just tell another lie.
Or they double down on it and say, "Oh no, you know, you're an idiot or something." I must
you
admit,
did it wrong.
I'm yeah, you did it wrong.
One thing that was discovered in the game, like, I think it's like 5 or 6 years ago, and it sounds so untrue because the game came out in, I think, 2000. In Pokemon Puzzle Challenge for the Game Boy Color, basically what you can do is on the title screen, I can't remember the exact combination, but you press like up, down, left, right, up, B, A, and it's like a 30 numerical code. And doing that, it takes you to the Game Boy error screen when you put a Game Boy Color cartridge into a regular Game Boy. So no matter what system you're playing it on. And when you're there, You press A like 30 times, then B 30 times, and then there's a bit more to the combination. And by doing that in Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, it takes you to a beta version of Panel de Pon for Game Boy, which never existed. That was never made. I guess that's what Puzzle Challenge was originally. But that's such a cool thing to hide in the game for like 20 years.
So hang on, is this real?
Yeah, this is real.
Oh my god! Sorry, I zoned out ever so slightly. I was just thinking about the wash load I got to put on. Just assumed you were talking about something that somebody made up. That's crazy that that's actually real. It's a bit like, it's a bit like Stop and Swap. You know, going back to Banjo. You know, the idea that you sort of say, oh, well, you go to the sandcastle floor, you type in cheat, and then out of the sea it rises to reveal more secret prizes, which genuinely takes several minutes to do. You sort of think, oh no, come on, that's not real. It's totally real. You go and do it, and you unlock all the Stop and Swap stuff, and nothing happens because it wasn't finished.
Yes. It's still cool that it's there, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time I play Banjo, I always do the Stop and Swap stuff. Like, even like on the original N64 one. It was like a huge revelation when I was a child that this game that I played 100% completion, Banjo-Kazooie, one of my favorite games of all time, the idea that there was more and that it was just literally typing stuff into the castle floor. And I already knew about stuff like that because you type in cheat wishy-washy banjo, you actually turn into a washing machine. Again, that's the sort of thing that sounds like complete rubbish. It is entirely true. If you type in cheat wishy-washy banjo, you turn into a washing machine.
So that's why there's like washing machine fan art out there of Banjo?
Oh, no, you can, I mean, that's where it started, but in Banjo-Tooie, there's an actual transformation where you turn into a washing machine as well.
Oh, I had no idea I've never played much of Tooie, so I had no idea that was actually in the game.
Yeah, games don't do stuff like this anymore, or at least they do to a bit, but not like turning into a washing machine. Come on.
One thing I always like to do which it's not often, but whenever I interview a developer, I always like to ask them if there's any little secrets or Easter eggs snuck into their games. And usually they don't like to tell me. They'll just like, oh yeah, there's things still waiting for people to, find. I think what I should start doing from now on is asking them if there's any leads or any tips they can give us towards finding something. Because these little rumors and the secrets and that people put into their games it's almost kind of like a little labor of love that they sneak these little things in because they're not necessary, but it keeps us talking about these games for years and years. And so if any devs are listening out there or any future developers, especially with Game Builder Garage coming out, if you're planning on making games for the rest of your life or whatever, consider sneaking little things here and there into your games because, as players, I think we love talking about them and experiencing them and sharing how we found them or, this or that, because it just adds an extra layer to your game and it's so much fun.
For sure. Real quick, Nier Automata had that. Now, that's a game from 2017, and a few months ago it was discovered that right at the beginning, if you stand in a specific spot and do some really specific combos, it takes you to the credits. You finish the game by doing that. That's crazy, and that was hidden for 4 years.
Yeah.
Is that like a dev tool type thing? Just...
It must be, yeah.
But then why would you need to get to the end of the level, the end of the game right away? I mean...
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Nier Automata, that's another one of those games, Alex, that I think John and I we'll try to make you play that game as much as we can until you play it. Just like how I want you to play Undertale. Remember, our bet's still on.
June 12th.
Yeah.
Or July 12th.
The bet's still on.
Yep.
There's just one more I want to mention that I've suddenly remembered. Again, it's not a rumor, it's something that actually exists. Are you two familiar with the Sonic CD Fun is Infinite with Sega Enterprises screen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Xeon?
I don't know if I am.
Okay.
Should I go look it up quick?
I'm going to send you the image now.
Okay. I can't wait.
You're in for a treat.
This is genuinely in Sonic CD.
I have an image in my brain, but this image is very...
It's probably what you're thinking.
Nice and... that thing.
Oh, no, it's not what you're thinking then.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yup. That's in the game,
It's in
right?
the game, yeah. And it's really creepy.
Yeah.
There is like a reason behind it, and it's been explained. It's... some people are like, oh, it's the devil or something. It's not. It's just an image in a game, for God's sake. But yeah, it's still weird and creepy. And again, it's like putting certain like combinations into the sound test. Again, it's one of those things. Sounds completely fake, completely real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you guys know off the top of your head what it says too?
Fun is infinite with Sega Enterprises.
Oh, and there's the infinite sign, right? Ugh.
Yeah.
It's like a weird Sonic school teacher. Like I imagine him like pointing at a chalkboard being like, oh, remember kids, fun is infinite. And he just says it. He just says it for eternity. Like is this what hell is like?
I can imagine that would be hell.
Well, now that we've gotten this spicy, scary, spooky creepypasta that's actually real image from Alex, very much appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel like this is a good time to probably just ask the community once again. Let us know, if there's any rumors or, even if you didn't hear them on the playground, if you heard them in the break room or on the streets or even in early, Game FAQ forums or somewhere like that. Let us know anything that, caused you to spend a night to do something stupid in a video game that led you to not be true or whatever. Spill anything fun like that. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, then why don't you go ahead and spread a spicy rumor about that subscribe button. Tell your friends that if they go ahead and click it, they subscribe to Nintendo Life. Who would have thought? Who would have thought, guys?
Who'd have thunk it?
Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
I heard a rumor that in Breath of the Wild, if you eat 30 raw steaks, Link loses his boxes.
Guys, did you know you can get a Tails Chow in Sonic Adventure 2? You just need to play Phantasy Star Online.
Are you serious?
You connect. That's actually real.
Is it in the GameCube version?
Yeah, you can get a Tails Chow.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious though? What? I need to Google this.
I want to keep all of this in.
Hang on, I'll show you.
Yeah, please do.
There's Tails Chow.
This is, oh my gosh! That is the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life!
Zion, I hope this is just a long
There are others as well. There's Knuckles Chow and Amy Chow.
What is this? Are they all from Phantasy Star?
I can't remember about Knuckles Chow and Amy Chow, but I remember Tails Chow definitely is.
My mom and I would have, I'm screaming right now, but that's so cool!
Zion, do you know about Chaos Chow?
I do know about Chaos Chow. We never got one.
Oh, okay.
I do know about those.
Oh, I got loads. I was a complete...
What do you mean you got loads?